around new features that you just, if you don't want to play with, you don't have to play with. That's my take on it.
When I first introduced the command blocks, I also disliked them because I thought there's no real purpose for them. And Minecraft, at least vanilla Minecraft, is all about having simple blocks which everyone can easily understand. That's what my thought was. And the contraptions are putting those simple blocks together to make something amazing. That's why I also dislike mods like Feed the Beast, because there is those very specialized, already complicated blocks which are where you need to learn their functions, and it's and there's just so many different blocks for a certain specific things. And the command block by now is just so powerful, and there are so many things possible with it which weren't possible in vanilla, that I think, yeah, it definitely has. It is a cool addition to the game, and as long as it's not possible in survival, that's then I'm totally fine with it, because yeah, for Redstone map makers it's really a good thing. But yeah, as I said, I personally don't use them, have barely any experience with it, because it's just not a simple thing. It's really complicated sometimes, especially with the summon commands and all that stuff. You really need to learn how that thing works. Yeah, but it's just my opinion.
Redstone, or command blocks, better say, were really important to be added to the game. Map making and making custom maps became a very, very important and powerful part of the Minecraft community. There's entire Minecraft channels on YouTube that are solely based around mini games and are extremely successful with it. So there's clearly a high demand for that. And by adding all these cool features with the command blocks, map making was taken to a next level. I mean, you know, the structure spawners and all these things, you can do very amazing things with these, and I don't think it interferes or messes with survival Minecraft. It's a different realm. It's almost like a creator tool, like something you give a development team to make something for the game in a development environment. So it's a very good addition, and I'm really happy about it, although personally I don't use them much.
Yeah. And because it's like an integrated circuit, so to speak, it's a lot more stable as far as patches go. You know, it's like a lot of times we may get a patch and all of a sudden a hopper or a comparator doesn't quite work like it does, in the previous ones. But if you have one block and it has, commands in it, that'll be a lot more stable as things go. So it helps a lot with map makers. They don't have to constantly go back and update their maps.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
All right, next question is, how advanced do you think Redstone will get? I see Dinnerbone out in the crowd.
Hey, Dinnerbone. Come on, guys. By the way, a big round of applause for Dinnerbone. It just deserves it, right?
Give it to him.
He's been personally responsible for many of the changes with the command blocks, and yeah, he gave the game a new dimension. So. Really,
Thanks for putting up with our complaints.
You fixed our game, Dinnerbone.
Yeah. It's awesome.
So how advanced will Redstone get? Yeah, I think that sums it up.
Yeah.
Ask him.
I'm cool with whatever. Do you think the addition of much more advanced Redstone mechanics benefit less experienced players or not?
If you're talking about integrated circuitries like one block which is an AND gate or AND gate, XOR gate or something, I don't think it would benefit anyone, because it's better to see how you can actually make these little contraptions. And for me, I think having some basic little contraptions already pre-built in your mind and then making them together to a bigger circuit is what is most fun for me in Redstone. So I don't think you should spoil it too much by just giving the player all these fancy experienced advanced blocks. Also, as I said, because it's simpler to understand if each block is just has very basic features. But that's my point. I don't know what your opinion about this is.
I love the fact, I love the aspects of like Red Power. You've got the little logic gates, and you can stick them on the side or underneath. I think is really cool. But yeah, it doesn't really change. An AND gate is an AND gate. It doesn't matter if this one little thing looks like a repeater or if it's 3 blocks with 2 redstone torches of dust and a redstone torch coming out. I think in a way, if you understand the concept of an AND gate or an XOR gate or any of that, it's almost better to have it in the standard redstone dust and torches and whatnot, because then you can actually look at it and kind of trace where things go. And And from an educational standpoint, you understand logic through that. You don't really get it if it's just a little white thing and two red things come out and a random red thing comes, you know. You kind of miss that level of education and understanding.
Yeah, agree.
Okay, well, we have about 15 minutes left in the panel. At this point, we are going to open it up to Q&A. So I believe there are mic stands being set up. I don't really know.
Said to the left and the right.
There's 2 of them. Yep, here's one. And yeah, so we're going to open it up to questions from the audience.
Just step up. Don't cause chaos and security hazards.
Yeah.
You need to be a 5-star redstoner in order to ask a question.
No.
Get
Wrong.
to the dang microphone now.
YouTube dismissed the star
Right,
rating
all right,
years
come on.
ago already, so.
Here we
So
go.
we only have 15 minutes, so we'll try and get through as many as we can. We'll try and answer them as quickly as we
Yeah,
can.
that's
Let's go ahead and
probably
start.
already it.
All right, so my question was, I destroyed a piece of the structure spawn, and it was the spawner part of it, and all of a sudden, my building just started rapidly, like, disappearing, and then reappearing, disappearing, and reappearing, disappearing. Why does that happen? Can you explain that to me?
I don't know, but that sounds awesome. Like you're onto something there. I don't know. I don't know why that would happen. There's a lot of ways.
Well,
It's hard to tell. I mean, that's a good question, actually. We often get very specific questions about things. I built this in this redstone contraption, and this one torch is not going off. Why is that so? Well, it's really hard to answer such specific things. And yeah, some wiring's wrong, dude.
yeah.
Are you on a server?
I think if you figure it out for yourself, you will actually learn a lot about redstone. So I mean, I can't help you. I mean, like, I'm up here.
It's on a
Good way to
server.
turn it around.
If it's on a server, multiplayer server, things disappear and lag creates a lot of that. Makes that happen sometimes.
All right. Question over here.
Repeater locking was a mechanic that was added a long time ago, and it was used a bit when it came out, and then all of a sudden it just kind of like dropped out and everyone stopped using it. And I was wondering kind of like if there were any ways that you could like implement it to make things a lot more compact, like now.
Oh.
I don't know. I just used repeater locking the other day to make a little timing circuit for my horse, test my horse speed. So, some things are useful in more contexts than others, and I think repeater locking is one of those that's not useful in as many, but when it is useful, it's what you need exactly. So.
Yeah, it depends. For example, you can make a very easy falling edge detector with it, which doesn't have noisy pistons in it or stuff like this. And as I said, I used it in this timing device, but in general, not every feature has necessarily to have 1 million ways to use it. And I think it's a cool addition. It doesn't harm anyone, and it's easy to understand. So, yeah, I like it.
Yeah, it's nice because it's not a locking repeater block. It's just a repeater that happens to have that capability.
All right, next.
What is your opinion on making redstone a little more articulate, like the red power mod, without the compacting of like just this block as an AND gate? The fact that you can place it on walls, at ceilings, and everything can go anywhere, and how redstone is not limited to a 15 block current, because that can be a hindrance in a lot of builds.
Well, that's the thing. In game designing, it's very difficult to add stuff to a very well-running game. You have to be very careful because you know how crazy the Minecraft community is? I mean, if you add something, there's crazy people coming up with very crazy stuff, and it can easily disbalance the game, especially if you look on servers, So you have to be really careful with making one feature too powerful. And there is ways to extend the redstone signal infinitely. It just needs some trickery, and it ain't cheap because you need some pistons and redstone blocks, but it's actually doable. So I don't think it needs many more features in the sense of making it more elaborate, because it is already very elaborate. It's just not the most compact thing. But it's tricky to add new stuff. You have to be careful.
There's a saying in the culinary world, you cook with what's in the fridge. And I think that's kind of the beauty of having these limitations is you
Yes.
actually get to sit down, you look at it, you